The idea of quarantines and social distancing may seem new to most of us, but it actually has a long history in our battle against viruses and other pathogens. I'm Brian Malow, and I've partnered with Sigma Xi, the Scientific Research Honor Society, to conduct a series of interviews with experts so that I can get research-based answers to some of my questions, which may be some of your questions, concerning the COVID-19 outbreak. In this video, I spoke with Dr. Benjamin Chapman. He's a food safety professor at North Carolina State University, and he talks about the epidemiological evidence concerning food and social distancing. Epidemiology is the study of diseases in populations, and it can help us understand the relative risks associated with various behaviors and modes of transmission. Here's Dr. Chapman.
So we just talked about the food pathway, right? Really unlikely. We know that we don't have any indication, and I really do keep coming back to this epidemiology. If we look at all the epi, so the study of disease, how people get infected with this, it's about being around people that are sick, like that, and like you said, but we don't have any cases that we can point to that said a sick person went to a grocery store and coughed in the produce section, and then all the people that shopped in the produce section also got sick. If we had, and we've got, lots of history around influenza, it's a totally different virus, but the transmission route is similar, totally different on the number of hospitalizations, the deaths. It's hard to compare these two on the public health impacts, but on the mode of transmission, it's very similar. And that's not something that we've ever identified there either. And we've got 100 years of data on epidemiology, and that's not something we've identified. So we feel very like the food safety world, I think, feels pretty confident today with the data that we have that that's not a risk factor for this virus.
So what are the things that worked with influenza? Now, one that we don't have yet is a vaccine so that people would have antibodies built up and could be immune. So besides that, which of course,
yep.
that's the ideal that we want,
yes,
a vaccine.
Yep.
But if we don't have that, what are the other practices not because it's a similar virus, but because similar method of transmission?
Yeah.
What worked with the flu?
So really, this whole concept of quarantine and social distancing was this isn't a new concept for us. Like in the history of humanity, we've been doing this for a long time. I believe the quarantine comes from 40 days of keeping people. And this goes back to well before influenza, or well before influenza in 1918, 1919, but of keeping individuals, and I think this was in Venice, and I'll, of course, butcher this and get it wrong, but it was really about in port cities, if you had goods and you had people that were coming, we're going to keep you in the harbor for 40 days to make sure that you are not getting sick, and then you can come here. So we've been doing this social distancing for a long time.
Hundreds of years even.
Hundreds of years. We haven't had to do it in the same way for about 100 years. And that's really an interesting place to be at, I think, because we have so many advances in vaccines and chemical compounds for cleaning and disinfecting and hand sanitizer. All of those things are good, but it's not enough to break that chain for symptomatic people going around other individuals. So now we're at a very, it seems like an extreme situation of okay, everybody just stay home. And it's the right courageous public health thing to do.